Moving into a senior care facility was supposed to be an escape from the struggles of daily life for Manuel, but deep down, it felt more like an end than a new beginning. To everyone else, it seemed like the practical choice, but inside, Manuel grappled with a void he couldn't name, a sense of being discarded, unnecessary. Manuel hadn't always felt this way. He often found his mind wandering back to the sunny streets of Santa Clara, where he had shared his life with his late wife, Elena. Their modest stone house had been a haven of laughter and love. Manuel had adopted Elena's young daughter, Lucia, as his own. The day Lucia called him Papa for the first time had been the happiest of his life. Their life was simple but rich. Manuel worked tirelessly in his garden, cultivating rows of vibrant vegetables alongside his loyal donkey, Domingo. His evenings were spent sharing stories with Elena and Lucia. But that tranquil life unraveled one fateful night when a forgotten lantern set the home ablaze. Exhausted from a long day in the fields, Manuel had dozed off before extinguishing the lantern. By the time he woke, flames had already consumed much of the house. Neighbors braved the inferno to drag him to safety, but Elena's cherished belongings and the memories embedded in their home were lost to the flames. Manuel survived but spent weeks in the hospital. When he was released, Lucia brought him to her home in Pacifica to recover. But life with Lucia and her husband, Carlos, wasn't what he had hoped for. The couple, swamped by work, left him in the care of their kind, but blunt neighbor, Clara. "They're too busy for you, Manuel," Clara said one day as she dropped off a warm casserole. "They don't want you here, just like everyone doesn't want us old folks around." Her words clung to Manuel like a dark cloud. He tried to dismiss them, but every lonely evening in their quiet house seemed to echo her sentiments. On his birthday, a single slice of cake from Clara reminded him of how far he'd drifted from the life he once knew. "I can't live like this anymore," Manuel told Lucia one evening. "Take me to a care home. Sell the land in Santa Clara and use it to pay for me to stay there. I won't be a burden to you and Carlos anymore." Lucia hesitated. "Not now, Papa," she replied gently. "We'll talk about it later." But weeks passed, and nothing changed. Each night, Manuel stared at an old photo of Elena, whispering apologies for his failure to hold onto their dreams. One bright Saturday morning, something shifted. Lucia entered his room with a crisp shirt and slacks, Carlos following with a suitcase. "Pack your things, Papa," she said. "We're going on a trip." Manuel's heart sank. He thought he knew where they were headed. Silently, he packed his belongings, placing the photo of Elena carefully on top. As the car sped through Pacifica's outskirts, the urban landscape melted into serene hills. The ride stirred memories of countryside drives with Elena. Back then, life had seemed endless, filled with laughter and possibilities. But today, the journey felt like a farewell to everything that had mattered to him. Eventually, the car slowed as they entered a gravel driveway, surrounded by wildflowers and towering trees. Manuel braced himself for the sight of a clinical gray facility. Instead, he froze in disbelief. Before him stood his old house. Not the charred ruins he had left behind, but a beautifully restored version of it. Every detail, from the weathered stone walls to the wooden shutters, was as he remembered. "Welcome home, Papa," Lucia said softly. Manuel's knees buckled, and Carlos quickly supported him. "What is this?" he whispered, his voice quivering. Lucia smiled through tears. "We couldn't let go of your home, Papa. We used the land and your memories as the foundation for something new. The neighbors helped rebuild it, every brick and beam, just as it was." Inside, Manuel found every detail lovingly recreated. His favorite chair stood by the window, freshly upholstered. A photograph of him and Elena on their wedding day adorned the mantel. He traced his fingers over the armrest of the chair, feeling its comforting familiarity. And just when he thought the surprises were over, Carlos led him outside. There, tethered near the garden, stood Domingo, his trusted companion. The donkey let out a happy bray as Manuel approached, tears streaming down his face. The house wasn't just a physical structure, it was a lifeline to his past, lovingly rebuilt by his family and community. That evening, under a canopy of stars, Manuel sat on the porch with Lucia and Carlos. The hum of crickets filled the air, blending with the comforting sound of Domingo grazing nearby. "I thought I was a burden," Manuel said, breaking the silence. "But you've shown me that love doesn't see burdens, it only sees family." Lucia reached for his hand, squeezing it gently. "You're not a burden, Papa. You're our foundation." As Manuel sat there, cradling his photo album and listening to his family's laughter, he felt something he hadn't in years: peace. Manuel's story is a powerful reminder that love and dedication can reignite hope, even in the darkest times. What would you have done in Lucia and Carlos's place? In this world where most stories are haunting and mind-jarring, it is sometimes reassuring to hear stories like these. Stories that restore our faith in humanity once more. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more mind-boggling and sometimes heartwarming stories.